The Bombardier Global Express, which starts at more than 45 million bucks.
The Global Express is the ultimate aircraft. I mean, it's like a Wall Street office on steroids.
It's got pretty much everything you can ask for, including a noise reduction system, which cancels out all outside noise.
Yeah, boy! Then there's John Devaney. The Florida-based securities trader was expelled from 2 prep schools and made money selling fake Rolexes before he took on the financial markets. But now, at the tender age of 36, John pulls in an estimated $50 million a year and has his own bodacious bird, the Gulfstream 4.
John Devaney bought his Gulfstream 4 2 years ago, and it was actually reported that he was the youngest person ever to buy a G4.
No tycoon worth his salt doesn't have a Gulfstream jet, the prices of which start at about $35 million. And if he also just wants to do a quick jaunt, he has a Sikorsky helicopter.
Oh, yeah! But only one man truly rules the Wall Street skies. Because for former schoolteacher turned billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, one private plane won't do. He's got a small fleet. A Gulfstream 4, a Cessna, and a Boeing 727 with, of course, an in-flight trading room.
He has a Boeing 727. I'm just wondering now, what do you need a commercial-size airliner for?
Believe us, it comes in handy when you've got powerful friends to fly around. When Bill Clinton organized a week-long tour of Africa in 2002, Jeff gave him a ride in his personal 727 and took actors Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker along for the trip.
Now, for former President Clinton, it was a chance to investigate the problems of AIDS in Africa, and for Epstein, it was a chance to hang out with some of his big-shot friends.
Jet-setting with Bill, all in a day's work for Wall Street moguls. But it's nothing compared to the power trips they're taking on the high seas.
Wall Street's top performers have the trophy homes, the amazing private planes, so of course they've invested in whopping mega yachts.
When finance titans take to the waves, they're behind the wheels of their own stylish super cruisers. Take a cruise with us around the Wall Street Yacht Club. There's Alex Schneider's mega yacht Melandia, 170 feet of floating fun with an outdoor cinema. There's 40-year-old Chicago financier Mike Palumbo's 124-footer that he purchased for $7 million. Christened Perseverance 2, it has 4 staterooms and a fancy bar area on the back end.
You are perfectly welcome to charter the yacht for just a minimal teeny fee of $60,000 a week.
But the commander of the Wall Street Yacht Club, it's our jet-setting buddy, 36-year-old John Devaney. Because he has not 1, not 2, but 10 yachts. There's the 118-footer called A Time for Us, and the 129-foot The Big Easy, which he bought for his mom. What a good son. But Captain John's flagship, it's this. The 141-foot monster called Positive Carry, with a luxurious master suite and 4 massive guest suites. But Positive Carry? It isn't just a silly boat name. It's a fancy financial term that means profits. Because even when they're on the high seas, these guys are keeping their eyes on the bottom line. Ahoy, mateys! Coming up, sure, celebs cheer on their favorite sports teams, but Wall Street moguls, they show their love in a different way.
He paid $50 million to buy a Formula One racing team.
Plus, find out why one Wall Streeter dropped $20 million for a week-long vacation. And later, a personal tour of the ultimate Wall Street Sky Palace. When the fabulous life of billion-dollar Wall Street ballers returns. Wall Street wunderkind Jeffrey Epstein digs science. But he doesn't just have his own chemistry set in the basement. To satisfy his inner Einstein, Jeff's got his own staff of world-class scientists, and he gives them $20 million a year to do whatever experiments they want.
Jeffrey Epstein was actually once a math teacher, but he's so interested in math and science that he has a team of scientists that he funds. You know, they'll just say there's something that they want to study, and he just writes a check.
The platoon of scientists that Epstein has aren't just guys off the street. He's got a Nobel Prize winner, a professor at Harvard.
But bankrolling your own Bunsen burner patrol? The fantasy spending on Wall Street gets way, way more lavish than that.
These guys are so rich that they can pretty much buy whatever they want and whatever they're passionate about.
And some of Wall Street's top earners have a fierce passion for competitive sports.
If you go back into their histories, they typically have some kind of a background where they have competitive drive, almost like an elite athlete would have.
And they'll pay anything to play with the big boys. Take British currency trader Joseph Lewis. In 2000, he dropped more than $2 million at a charity auction just to go 18 holes with Tiger Woods.
Tiger and Joe got along so well, they actually decided to go in together on a $1.3 billion development in the Bahamas.
I just wanted to do what I love to do.
But even if they're on the sidelines, Wall Streeters won't settle for season tickets. Why would they when they've got the cash to buy the whole damn team? Take 38-year-old financier Alex Schneider. In 2005, he actually blew $50 million to get his very own Formula One racing team, only to sell it in 2006 for over $106 million. Then there's Boston-based hedge fund manager John Henry. This baseball fan couldn't pass up a chance to be part of the action. So in 2002, he and two partners bought the Red Sox for a record-setting $700 million and made himself principal owner.
$700 million. That's the most ever spent to buy a major league team.
And these days, some of Wall Street's biggest spenders are taking it out of the dugout and into the stratosphere. Like Dennis Tito. Today, he's a stock market superstar. But back in the 60s, he was an actual rocket scientist. So it's no surprise that when he made his millions, he spent a fortune for a road trip to the stars.
Dennis Tito wanted to go into space, so in 2001, he paid $20 million to be the first tourist on the Russian Mir space station.
That is the ultimate dream for a rocket scientist.
Life on Earth is altogether different than life in space.
Race cars, sports teams, rocket ships. Just what you'd expect these tough-minded Wall Street warriors to blow their cash on. But these guys are spending even more money on pretty art. Why? Because art is a bull market.
Art is an asset that gains value over time. And remember, traders think in terms of value.
And on Wall Street, art acquisition isn't a gentleman's game, it's a blood sport. Just ask Wall Street heavyweight Henry Kravis.
Come on.
Henry made his mark on the street back in 1989 when his private equity firm KKR bought out RJR Nabisco for $25 billion, helping Henry build a mega fortune of $2.6 billion. And he spent a big chunk of that on Impressionist masters like Monet, Renoir, and Sargent.
Henry Kravis is a major art collector. Sotheby's auctioned off one of his Matisses for $18.5 million, which is the most a Matisse has ever gone for.
Henry Kravis not only has his own private, ridiculous collection of art, he also donated $10 million to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, and now he has his own wing there.
But in the cutthroat Wall Street art market, no one comes close to reclusive financier Stephen Cohen. His collection is a modern art 101, including legendary works from the likes of Manet, Van Gogh, Pollock, and Warhol.
As far as hedge fund money men who are big into art, they do not come any bigger than Stevie Cohen. His art collection is north of $700 million at last count.
You heard right. To build his mammoth art collection, Stevie's spent almost $1 billion. To give you a sense of how much cash that really is, 700 mil is 7 times what New York's famous Metropolitan Museum of Art spends on new art a year. In fact, Stevie once spent over $137 million on a single painting. And he isn't just picking up stuffy old watercolors. Stevie's got a taste for the weird stuff, too. In 2004, he paid a small fortune for this multimedia work by cutting-edge artist Damien Hirst. An actual 14-foot tiger shark suspended in a tank of formaldehyde.
How appropriate. You know, it's a shark. This is the biggest obvious metaphor for a lot of what people perceive the industry to be.
One fish in formaldehyde, $8 million. Coming up, when you make millions of bucks a day at work, where do you vacation? Anywhere you damn well please.
He has a private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands that's 70 acres.
Plus, how to buy a beach house Wall Street style.
The one house he did like that was occupied, he just knocked on the door and ended up picking it up for $50 million.
And later, one of Wall Street's hottest traders takes you inside his private world. When the fabulous life of billion-dollar Wall Street ballers returns. Psychiatry. It can help you conquer your deepest phobias, from spiders to marriage to creepy circus poodles. But hedge fund king Stephen Cohen didn't hire head shrinkers to battle his inner demons. He pays them to make him more money. Stephen's got a psychiatrist on staff to help his employees cope with their fear of trading risks.
Stevie does run a tight ship, but this is par for the course for all the big Wall Street firms.
The average Wall Street guy has a pretty hectic schedule. He's really got to be at the top of his game all the time.
That's right. Working on Wall Street can make you mucho cash, but it can also make you really stressed out. So when it's time to unwind, Wall Streeters blow off steam on some truly extravagant getaways.
Wall Street guys are always on call, and because it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week occupation, and they're encouraged to take vacations really whenever they need it.
When you're a top Wall Street hedge fund manager, you're not packing the kids up and going to the timeshare down in Florida.
Not a chance. When Wall Streeters vacation in the Sunshine State, they don't settle for anything less than Palm Beach, the town where the average home sells for over $5 million.
Palm Beach is the Wall Street waterway for the fabulous and rich and famous.
Money manager Jeffrey Epstein seems to think so. He unwinds in his $6.8 million Palm Beach villa. And billionaire financier Steve Schwartzman kicks back in his 13,000-square-foot Palm Beach mansion called the Four Winds.
Steve Schwartzman in Palm Beach has one of the most over-the-top luxury estates. I mean, it has 300 feet of private beach.
But no one threw his Wall Street weight around to get the perfect Palm Beach paradise like art lover Henry Kravis, who has a mega fortune of $2.6 billion. Come on! And when you're worth that much money, you can have any vacation home you want, even ones that aren't for sale.
He was looking for places in Palm Beach in 2006, didn't like anything that was available, but the one house he did like that was occupied, he just knocked on.
The Bombardier Global Express, which starts at more than $45 million.
The Global Express is the ultimate aircraft. I mean, it's like a Wall Street office on steroids.
It's got pretty much everything you can ask for, including a noise reduction system, which cancels out all outside noise.
Then there's John Devaney. The Florida-based securities trader was expelled from 2 prep schools and made money selling fake Rolexes before he took on the financial markets. But now, at the tender age of 36, John pulls in an estimated $50 million a year and has his own bodacious bird, the Gulfstream 4.
John Devaney bought his Gulfstream 4 2 years ago, and it was actually reported that he was the youngest person ever to buy a G4.
7, and took actors Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker along for the trip.
Now, for former President Clinton, it was a chance to investigate the problems of AIDS in Africa, and for Epstein, it was a chance to hang out with some of his big shot friends.
Jet setting with Bill, all in a day's work for Wall Street moguls. But it's nothing compared to the power trips they're taking on the high seas.
Wall Street.
And a Boeing 727 with, of course, an in-flight trading room.
He has a Boeing 727. I'm just wondering now, what do you need a commercial-size airliner for?
Believe us, it comes in handy when you've got powerful friends to fly around. When Bill Clinton organized a week-long tour of Africa in 2002, Jeff gave him a ride in his personal 720.
No tycoon worth his salt doesn't have a Gulfstream jet, the prices of which start at about $35 million. And if he also just wants to do a quick jaunt, he has a Sikorsky helicopter.
Oh, yeah! But only one man truly rules the Wall Street skies. Because for former schoolteacher turned billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, one private plane won't do. He's got a small fleet. A Gulfstream 4, a Cessna.